Oh. Get into that turret, quick! We need to get out of here, get off this mountain. Oh. Do not be fooled by the sunshine. It is freezing. Where summer camping teaches you how to relax, winter camping teaches you how to survive. In the summer, if you forget something, it can be uncomfortable. But in the winter, it can be absolutely crucial, and it could make or break your camp. Today, I'm out with Big John. It's the start of January, and we're planning to camp up the top of Meelmore, just behind me here. So the weather is absolutely fantastic today. Cold, but nice and bright, dry and sunny. But tonight we're expected to get 50-mile-an-hour winds, which isn't great. But we're going to have a nice meal, some hot cider, and hopefully we'll survive the night. So come and join us. Mourne Mountain ice lollies, grass flavour. Okay, so we've got the Meelmore. This is where we plan to camp for the night. I'm going to try and put the tents up here. The ground is rock solid, so could have issues getting pegs in, and with the winds tonight to be so high, we really want to make sure the tent's secured. We're going to need all the help we can get. Pegs in, guy ropes up. Probably need to put rocks on top of the pegs just to make sure they don't come out. So we're going to give that a go now, try and get the tent up. Wish us luck. It is cold. So we've got all the tents set up, all the bedding set up. As you can see, we've sort of kept the tents in tight to the wall. That should offer us a wee bit of protection against the wind should it come in heavy later on. So John's just got a fancy new coffee filter gadget. So he's got the coffee on there. Apparently this gives you a nice barista style coffee instead of the wee 2-in-1 sachets that you normally get. So we'll get that in this here, nice warm drink, warm the bellies and get ourselves ready for the night ahead. Sun's setting quite quickly here, so it's only going to get colder. Cheers. Hard to beat a good quality coffee. But what makes it even better is that view behind me. Unbelievable. If you're familiar with the Mournes, you'll recognise these stone huts. There's 3 of them scattered throughout the Mournes, and they're situated along the Mourne wall, and they were built to provide shelter for the guys who built the Mourne wall all them years ago. As you can see just here, it says 1921, so way back then when the Mourne wall was built. I'm sure the guys were up here in all sorts of elements, so having a wee shelter like that to sort of jump into for a bit of protection every now and then was probably a lifesaver for them guys. So yeah, there's one here, Sleeve Meelmore, there's one on the top of Commodore, and there's one at the top of Donard. So just like the men who built the Mourne wall, it could provide us with some much needed shelter tonight from the elements. So it's been quite busy here today on the top of Meelmore. Obviously a lot of people out wanting to get a view of the snow, enjoy it. Northern Ireland, we don't get an awful lot of snow, and when we do, it usually doesn't hang around for too long, so everyone's making the most of it. But the amount of people have seen our tents and said, "Yous are mad, it's freezing, what do you do it for?" And the thing is, in the summer you can forget things and get away with it, but in the winter you just can't do that. Everything you pack has a reason, every layer has a job, and that's what preparation is key to that. I mean, today I am wearing so I've got like a merino base layer on, and then another long sleeve top, a t-shirt, a sort of fleece, and then my down jacket. Yeah, and then I've got this gaiter on, my hat obviously, 2 pairs of gloves, yeah, and down below I've got a pair, they're not merino, but I've got a pair like a leggings on, like long john type things, not the ones with a trap door, so if nature calls it's a bit more of a hassle. But yeah, like the long johns, and I've got my hiking trousers, 2 pairs of socks on, so well kitted out, well prepared for the winter and the cold, and that's key. So you just need to be prepared when you're coming up here in the winter, and you should be comfortable enough. And one of the biggest tips for winter camping is never eat yellow snow. It'll make you really sick. Instead, we've got a choice of beef and barley stew, or some chicken tikka masala that's sort of cooked up at home, well, made at home. I'm just going to heat up here. So it's not often you have a la carte menus in the Mournes, but I think I'm going to use up this, because it needs used up. This will keep for months or years even, I don't know. So chicken tikka masala for dinner tonight, which is a favourite in the Indian restaurants, but is actually a British dish. I think it was actually Scotland. It was created. So there you have it. Chicken tikka masala, pilai rice, and I'm just eating it straight out of the pot because I can't be bothered dirtying dishes when there is nowhere to wash them out. So as they say in India, no, as they say in the UK somewhere, get it into you. Oh yeah. Nice and hot, just what you need. That's another thing about camping in winter, the importance of getting a hot meal into you. Just when your body temperature starts to drop, that sort of hot food can act as central heating, and just start bringing the heat right through your body again. So hopefully this chicken tikka hits the spot. You got there? What you got there?
Nothing.
Well, John, what advice would you give someone wanting to go wild camping in the winter?
I think your sleeping mat is massive. I bring a foil mat with me. I got it for a fiver out of Amazon, had it for years. Use it every time I come and put it down first, and then my sleeping mat on top of that.
The foil mat, what does it do? Like, what's the science behind that?
It will reflect the heat away, the cold away from you, but your heat back towards you.
Yeah.
So it's doing it for all of it. I mean, a fiver for that, and then your my sleeping pad. I think a sleeping pad there. It's our value of 5, and I've never been cold, and I've been up here in the snow many a time. So
the foil mat, good sleeping pad.
Yep.
Decent sleeping bag. What about? So I brought a liner with me today for the first time, so we'll see how I get on with that, which is basically like a bed sheet.
Insane.
That you put inside your sleeping bag, just gives you an extra wee bit of warmth. So summer wild camping or winter wild camping, what do you prefer?
Winter wild camping for the clear days. The clear days in the winter is just something different about it. Blue skies, the white in the mountain tops, the views are unreal. But for summer, the late nights are hard to beat. Late nights, 7, 10, half 10 at night, the sun's gone down. Still maybe in a hoodie is probably hard to beat. A bit of both. I can't split it. They both have their pluses and negatives, you know. So
yeah, every season in the Mournes, I think, brings its own unique beauty, and that's why we love it and keep coming back.
No doubt, and we'll keep coming back. Hopefully,
we'll drink to that.
We'll drink to that. Exactly.
Oh, get me out of here.
Oh, go on.
Tonight, Matthew, I'm gonna be Christopher.
Lady in red.
It is absolutely mental out there. We have just got back into the tents. We're in the wee stone hut all night with fire logs going. It was nice, cosy, lovely and toasty. Just as the night went on, the weather outside just got worse and worse. So just got back into the tents. It's about 10 p.m. and the wind has fairly picked up. Crazy, and the snow, and it's cold, so it's looking like we're in for a rough night, but I'm going to try my best here, get in the sleeping bag, try and get some sleep, but it is not looking likely. But we really do not want to bail, because we believe that probably more dangerous to try and pack up now and head down in the snow and ice and in the darkness than try and sort of see this through. So all being well, I'll see you in the morning. Long old night ahead. Oh, my tent's in on top of me. Something's come out. Ah. John, my pole snapped.
No way.
Aye.
Pole snap.
Ah, it's
You bit?
tent's in on top of me like.
No way.
Aye. Wow.
Who are you?
Outside here.
Get under that turret quick. Get under that turret.
Right. Let me. So as you can see, the pole snapped in my tent. It's only 10 PM like, and I think the winds are only to get worse. The tent is completely flattened on top of me. Just don't know what we're going to do here. Can't see us staying here, to be honest. I don't know how we can. Flip me. Disaster.
That's it. That's it. Here.
Hey guys, we have made the decision to bail. Just no way I can stay in that tent tonight. And I'm actually now soaking and starting to shiver.
That's unbelievable. Can't stay on with the bag too. Unbelievable.
Having to bail, everyone's safety, it's unbelievable here. Just cannot stay in that tent. I'm freezing, soaked. We need to get out of here, get off this mountain. Oh. Okay, let me fill you in. What happened after the cameras stopped rolling was one of the most terrifying ordeals I've ever experienced. Not just in the mountains, but life in general. Now there's no footage of what happened, but two reasons for that. are that my battery had died and the cold was really affecting my battery life. I did have a spare battery and I had a power bank in which I could have charged my other batteries up, but our only objective at that point in time was getting off that mountain safely and as quickly as possible. But it didn't feel right to just end the video where it did, so I'm going to go some way to try and explain the next few hours, and that's why I'm here. It was around 10 PM and we just got into the tents, and I wasn't long into my sleeping bag when I noticed the bottom of my tent had sort of caved in on me a bit. Wondering, was it one of my guy lines had come out, had the rocks that had placed on the pegs, had the pegs come loose and popped out, and that's what the problem was. So I had to get back on me, get all my clothes back on and go out and investigate, and that's when I discovered that one of my poles had broken. Now, I've been out in that jackal in 50-mile-an-hour winds, once at Happy Valley and another time on Hen Mountain. Strong winds, and those poles, they stood the test. Now I know it was windy this time, but I just thought from experience that my poles and my tent would hold up to it. But I got a feeling when I was setting up the tent, I just got a feeling when the poles were very difficult to put in, and I wondered, was it anything to do with the cold? Well, because were they a wee bit brittle? And that's why this time the strong winds broke them. Don't know, probably never know. And I had pitched my tent tight against the wall from where the wind was coming from. On one side, I had another section of the wall on another side of my tent, and had purposely pitched it. It's a tunnel tent, so it's designed from the back of it to be aerodynamic, so the wind comes up and over your tent. So I had 3 sides of my tent covered from the wind, or so I thought, and the wind changed direction, and we couldn't have planned for that. But after sort of getting John up and quick discussion, we decided that the best thing to do was to bail. Like you can see from the footage, there was just no way I could stay in that tent. And we considered a couple of things. Considered me getting into the tent with John, but I was soaking, I was freezing, and in those temperatures there's absolutely no way for me to try and get dry, try and get heat back into my body. So we made the decision to pack up and bail, go back down to the van. And we knew it was going to be difficult, because on the way up it's not an easy climb. There was snow and ice, and added into that the gale-force winds that had now come and the driving rain. But we felt just at this point in time that it was the best thing to do. We weren't sure. We could have stayed another while, and our attempts to fix my pole could have gave way, or something worse could have happened. John's tent could have gave way, and we could have ended up having to try and get down there 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So we just decided, let's go. And on the way down, despite the rain and the wind, I had the Mourne wall to my left hand side, and the wind was coming from this side, and although it was battering us, I felt a bit of safety in that wall, in that I couldn't go anywhere. I had it to hold on to grip onto, and just to see me down. And we eventually got down to the bottom of Meelmore and reached the stile, climbed over the stile, where we got a bit of respite from the wind and rain just behind the wall. But little did we know it was going to get so much worse from there. Coming down from Meelmore, you have the wall to guide you, And once you cross that stile, yes, there's a path, but in pitch black darkness and gale force winds, which were only getting worse at this point, the driving rain affecting your vision, it's so easy to lose that path. And at one point we did, and we weren't sure where we were. We had head torches, but they can only show you 5 meters in front of you, which at that time, yes, was great, but we couldn't find that path to get back onto it. And there was one point where John's head torch failed, the battery had run down, but thankfully I had a spare, so I was able to give him mine, which allowed us to carry on. Another thing that was happening was that the wind was so strong in its gusts that it was taking us off our feet, literally taking us off our feet. Now John is 6'2", 15.5, nearly 16 stone man, and it was taking him off his feet. It must have took me off my feet 10 to 12 times, literally just blowing you over. And the worst one was where it sort of blew me and it spun me and sent me over a bank, and I must have rolled or slid down that bank about 10 foot. And we are so lucky that we didn't break an ankle or bang our head off a rock. And I believe that it's only by the grace of God that none of those things happened to us. And at one point we were on our hands and knees climbing down the side of that mountain, because it got to a point where I felt I just can't stand up. I just cannot stand up, because the wind was just taking me over again. I mean, there was times we were going down the side of that mountain on all fours, on our hands and knees, through mud, through puddles, with streams of water flowing down the path. It was just a nightmare, a living nightmare. And we considered calling mountain rescue, but John was very positive about the whole thing, and he said no, all we need to do is find this path again and we should be fine, we should get down, we couldn't be too far from the van. So that's what we've done. We just got back up onto our feet and done our best, and it wasn't within about 5 minutes after that we found a path again. I don't think I could have got through that without Big John. You know, there was times where I was sitting thinking, and I can understand when people get caught up in situations like that, how the worst can happen, how people can lose hope. Because there was times I had my doubts, but Big John just the whole time showed great leadership and remained positive the whole time and kept a level head, and so I'm really thankful for that. But that wasn't the end of our troubles. The wind just seemed to be getting stronger and stronger, to a point where my legs were sore, because, well, every muscle of my body seemed to be sore, because you could almost hear the gusts coming, so you had to brace yourself, and you sort of got yourself down into a squat position. Big John just kept shouting, get low, get low, get down, every time a gust would come. But we soon found our way to the main track from Hare's Gap down to Meelmore, and I thought, oh, we are home and dry. But I was forgetting that you've still 3 rivers to cross, and those rivers, because of the strong winds and rain, were raging. The waters were high and gushing really, really fast, and we walked up and down them to see if we could get a safe place to cross, but there was only one way through that, and we were up to our knees walking through the rivers, and thankfully none of us got hurt. And I don't mind admitting, like, I'm a grown man, but there was times I was really worried that we weren't going to get off that mountain. And I've never been so glad to then see the stile just up from Meelmore Lodge come into view, because my legs were done. I just felt so weak and had no energy whatsoever. I don't know how much further I could have went. I really don't. You know, I wasn't even going to post this video because I knew how it might be portrayed by some people, that we were foolish, careless, maybe even underprepared, and that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinion on that. It's not as if we went chasing the storm, and the truth of the matter is, one bit of kit let us down, the tent pole. And when you think about all the other bits of kit that we had, they probably saved our lives that night. The head torches, the clothing that we had on, our power banks to charge up our phones, all those wee things. So if this video does one thing and raises awareness around the dangers of wild camping in the winter and in the mountains, where things can change in seconds, then it's done its job. We've learned our lessons from it, but we'll go away and we'll regroup and we'll go again soon. So all that's left for me to say is thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and I'll see you on the next one.